Good evening, good evening. Welcome in. We're gonna get started in another minute. We're just gonna also be going live on social media. So just give us 1 minute to let a couple more people join in here on Zoom while we also stream live. So we'll get started at about 9:07 p.m. EST. Hey guys, we're just giving it another minute. We'll get started at about 9:07 p.m. As you can see, this meeting is being recorded so that we can stream it on YouTube after the call. We're just going to also be going live on Facebook and Instagram. So we're just going to give it a few more minutes.
What? What? Here.
All right, welcome guys. Thank you for your patience while we get set up on Instagram and Facebook Live. My name is Letitia Riggs, for those who don't know me, and we are going to share all of our information on our Ghana retreat. So let's get started. All right, so during this session, we're going to go over five main things. We're going to talk about everything that is included with this retreat. We are going to talk about the itinerary as well as why you should book with Luxotic, what makes us unique. There are lots and lots of options in terms of people and groups that you can book with, and we'll really talk about what makes Luxotic unique in terms of a booking company that you can trust that has delivered incredible retreats over the past 5 years. And then we'll talk about FAQs, any questions that you guys may have, specifically as relates to different parts of this trip that makes it very, very unique. Things such as visas, yellow fever vaccines, things that are a hard requirement when traveling to Ghana. And then we'll also talk through booking next steps as well. And again, all of this information will be recorded so that you can have access to it after this live on YouTube as well as on Instagram. All right, so let's get into the inclusions. All right, I'm finally getting my Instagram set up, so let me just quickly go live here. So for this experience, the dates are December 27th through January 3rd. So it's an 8-day, 7-night experience. We are staying at a beachfront property that is in Accra. So I'm very excited about that. Last year, this will be our second year attending Ghana and visiting Ghana. We stayed at a boutique hotel, which was lovely to be at, but it did present itself a little bit far from the beach activities. So this year we do want to be a little bit closer to the beach. There really isn't a bad place to be when you are in Accra. As long as you're in Accra, there's lots of things that can be done and that we can do and explore while we're there. So it's really just about being there, being in Accra, being in the center, whether you're on the beach or in the city proper, there's really no bad spots in Ghana. Um, all of the drinks, meals, and transportations and excursions are included along with taxes and fees. So we have created an itinerary for you guys so that everything is included. Even though this is not an all-inclusive resort per se, our goal is to make this a frustration-free experience for you guys so that everything is done completely for you. So we're going to dive into um, everything that is included during the next couple of slides. The only thing that is not included our uh, in our pricing is travel insurance, which we do have a partner, Travel X, who does provide great travel insurance for our guests. And then we also don't include upgrades where everyone really has an opportunity to upgrade on their own. And then airfare is not included either. We do support airfare. So if you did need airfare assistance, we can certainly provide it for you guys. So if you're just tuning in, welcome, welcome. This is our New Year's in Ghana IFMO session. We're excited to bring you guys this retreat for another year. And for those who missed it, we did attend last year and it was incredible. This is our New Year's retreat. So we are going to be staying there right through New Year's. We do typically reserve a table at one of the best beach clubs, which is absolutely beautiful. They, the fireworks are going off on the beach, and all of the beach resorts and the beach clubs are all kind of partying together. It's a really, really, really fun vibe, during this time. So let's dive into the exact itinerary and what you guys can expect day by day. So we'll come back to these. And then, so let's get into the experience. So on day one, December 27th, we are going to be hosting, we are going to host our welcome party. So this is a fun night where, we'll welcome everyone in style with good music, cocktails, and it'll all be at the Select Hotel, which has a really nice rooftop, pool, hot tub, all of that stuff. And it's just a really, really, really nice vibe. To meet all of the guests that travel literally all over the country to, come and see and meet each other and experience Ghana together. That's one of the greatest perks, and that will, really dive deeper into throughout this presentation. But one of the perks is really, meeting other people that vibe um, and connect like you guys do. So the next day, day two, is all about our across city tour. So this gives people an opportunity to see Ghana, everything that it has to offer. So we're gonna visit the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. That's, that um it's that, kind of grayish building. It's just a really amazing experience where you get to understand more about the leaders of Ghana who really took their time in helping Ghana become the independent country that they are. We'll go to the Black Star Square. We'll go to the W.E.B. Du Bois Memorial Center for Pan-African Culture. And every day we're going to advise, how you should dress, what you should pack, what you should bring on every single tour that we create. Um, then on day two in the evening, this is an optional experience. So we do have some optional experiences that we are what we call premium experiences. So we don't include this for everyone because everyone doesn't want to attend Afrofuture. Afrofuture is one of the leading headline African music festivals, and it's great because it introduces you to a ton of different African artists from all around the world, or artists that are doing and performing African music. So we get to really experience art and fashion and culture from the African diaspora, which is incredible. Now, this is definitely a stand on your feet all entire night. This is why we don't include it, because we know that everyone is not going to want to experience it. So for those who do, we do typically get a special rate, and it allows for everyone to experience Afrofuture as a VIP. Then on the next day, we have a social connect. This is where we involve our nonprofit Luxotic Cares, and we'll be donating different items and clothing to a local orphanage or school. Sometimes we do both. It really depends on the timing, the distance, and how much we're able to commit. So typically before we arrive, we let you guys know, all of the travelers know, what we're bringing to Ghana, how we are what the school or the home has requested from us, and we tell you guys to include this in your packing so that we can make those live donations. So this picture that you see is me and I believe like 50 students at a local private school. And this was a school that was created by one of the leaders, one of the tribal leaders, because he saw a gap in the public school education. So because they have these private schools, there were things that were missing. There were things such as school supplies, right? School supplies, crayon, paint, things like that. And then they're all in one room. So it wasn't, there's kids from all different ages that were in this school, but they only had these dividers. So if you see that butterfly, they had these big slab dividers that we painted, that we kind of showed, and give them a little bit more life, because that's all that they had. This year what we're looking to do is see if we can partner with different type of real estate owners to help them get into a physical building. But more to come. We're going to keep you guys in the loop. For all of our book guests, we keep you guys in the loop in terms of what you can expect as a part of our nonprofit give back, our mission work that we'll be doing while we're in Ghana. Um, After this, we'll also have an Accra City tour too. So this is where we're going to go to get fabric, souvenirs, and really just take in the culture of Ghana that we can take back with us when we go. One of the things that we do literally once we arrive to Ghana on our day one, after everybody gets all checked in into their hotel, we typically have two things that happen that's like must. So first we have our quote unquote money guy that comes and gives, exchanges currency, because currency is not, easy to come by in Ghana. And one thing that I highly recommend before you leave Ghana, to convert your money back. Do not wait until you get home. Do not wait until until a layover, because not every country accepts Ghana money back. So make sure that you convert your money before you leave Ghana. This was a big mistake. I made this mistake. I was like, oh, I'll just convert my money on my layover in Paris. And Paris said, no, we do not accept this currency. And I was really awakened. And same thing happened when I got to America at the airport. Now, maybe there are some banks that will convert your money back, but here is, what we do. So the first day we get our money guy, he converts any cash that we have to Ghana Cedi. And then we also have a local tour tailor that comes, and she takes your measurements, as well as shows you some of the designs that you can get that she'll tailor for you. So that's why we have this tour at the beginning of our 8 day experience, so that you can shop for those fabrics, and then she'll come and grab your fabrics. She'll make your clothes before you leave. So you'll get a tailor-made outfit. Of course, separate. This is a premium experience, but you get this tailor-made outfit, and she's able to create something that you can take a little bit of piece of Ghana with you. And it's a really awesome experience, that is. So this is the Makola market. It's definitely, something to experience. It does get a little crazy, but it's definitely great to have. So this is why we include it as well. So then it's day two of Afrofuture. Afrofuture is a huge music festival in Ghana. Again, this is an optional experience. No one has to do this, but we encourage people, if they want to, then you can. And it's at night. It's at night. It's like an all night thing. They typically have the headliner on day two of Afrofuture, and they typically don't show up until probably about 1 to 2 a.m. The music festival ends at 6 a.m. So part of the reason why we don't include it, but it is something that you can add on as a part of your experience. All right. So moving right along, then day four, this is one of my favorite parts of the experience. When we go to the Ancestral River Park, the Asen Mansu Slave Market and River Site. This is such an emotional experience. I think when some of the people that I was consulting with before I did my first tour to Ghana was telling me about this. They made it seem like it was like something that you should not do because it was so emotional, but everyone experiences it differently, right? If you are a part of the African diaspora, if you identify as African in some way, African American, African England, African Canadian, whatever the case may be, then this may hit you some way if you, identify that your ancestors were slaves. What this is, it allows for us to visit one of the sites where slaves took their last bath before going into slavery. Before being sold into slavery, they took their last bath in this river park. And what you do here is you take your first bath of the return. So it's like you're returning the spirit of your ancestors back to this park. Some people have seen visions. A lot of things happen in this water. It's not like some, a ritual or anything like that, but it's an opportunity for you to see, where slaves spent their last time. Before they were sold into slavery, in a way to kind of reconnect. Now, this is a very long commute. It's 3 hours away from Accra. So it's something to think about. Our hotel that we stayed at was gracious enough to give us lots of snacks for this ride. But especially after on the heels of leaving Afrofuture day 2, it's a great way to get extra sleep because it's just a 3-hour ride out of Accra. So we do, recommend light, airy clothing here, repellent, hiking shoes, water shoes, because there is that river feature. Now, as you can see, this is a little bit of what it looks like. It's the first bath of the return, and they show you where the last bath is, but you don't, go there. You just go into the space that is the first bath of the return, which is beautiful. One of the things that's not pictured here is that you can also have a naming celebration where you're renamed. And like if you do your ancestry, you find out that you're Ghanaian, or you understand that you're some part and you know exactly where, you can have a renaming ritual done, where the tribe of this region will come and rename you. It's a beautiful experience, that when they did it for one of our guests and his wife last year. Accompanied with this tour, so we'll go to um, the the Ansan Mansu river bath, and then after that we take about another hour drive, or about 45-minute drive, to the Cape Coast Castle. Now this is where the slaves would walk. They would walk this 45-minute drive. They would walk to this castle, and this is where they would be stored before they would go into slavery. So this is another very emotionally heavy experience, where you're, really seeing some of the dungeons that slaves were held in before they were sold into slavery. One of my favorite parts of this tour is that there's a door of no return. So when they left out of the dungeon, they all exited out the same door. And after that, there's people that came from all different countries across Africa, all different tribes. When they left that door, they were sadly stripped of their identity. They didn't know, generations upon generations didn't know what tribe they were from, right? They didn't know what country they were from. And now we're, having to do this genetic testing and all of that to understand it. But there's a door that you can now go back to bring, the essence of your ancestors in ourselves and what we keep back into the door of return, which I absolutely love. And it's just a great way to be able to, have some type of ancestral closure, if you will, to the ancestors that bled and died and served for this country that we live in, or the countries that we're living in, because there were slaves in other countries as well. So here's a photo of, the door of the return. And on the other side of that it says the door of no return, just as just a visual. Um, after that, so we spend the rest of that day. We go to a little beach restaurant. We take in some food. We go back. It's a full day experience, and then we're kind of out for the rest of the night, or you're on your own. Um, and then day five, we're going to visit the Aqua Safari Resort. This is a beautiful resort, which is in the middle of the safari. It really allows for you to kind of bring the essence of the beach into the safari, which is incredible. There's pools, there's hot tubs, we'll have lunch there, and you'll be able to see an array of animals. It's just a great experience. And like I said, all of this is included into the experience itself. So a little bit more of kind of what it looks like, lots of great activities for everyone to enjoy while we're there. Um, then this is another optional experience. There will be a cigar whiskey tasting, understanding obviously, right? Everyone is not a drinker, everyone is not a smoker. So this is specifically for people that want to understand and learn more about Ghana's premium cigar lounge that's in Ada. And so we'll make sure that everyone, that is interested, that this is available for you to experience on day five. Now, day five, of course, is what? December 31st. It's New Year's Eve. So we all dress in white so that we can have incredible photos on the beach, having an amazing all white New Year's Eve dinner. There will be photo booths. There's going to be a lot of fun. We typically do a dinner, and then everyone who's going out, we party all night, all night long. So just be prepared to be up and out if you're going to hang out for New Year's till about 5 or 6, maybe 7 a.m. So just, fair warning for everyone. But it's just such a great experience. It's such a wonderful time. We had an amazing time last year and just partied the night away, in Africa, and it was just incredible. And then day six, so on New Year's Day, we visit one of the most beautiful botanical gardens I've ever seen in my life, despite it, Ghana, it just literally in my life. It was just absolutely beautiful. So we usually ask everyone to wear, kind of these series of colors, red, yellow, or green, so that we can take a super iconic photo shoot. And also pack a change of clothes for the waterfall. So we're also going to be visiting the waterfall. I'll show you guys that in the next slide. Um, and you'll be able to, get really, really great pictures. Of course, what's also included in all of our trips, we always have a personal photographer and videographer that's capturing every single moment of the retreat. That's our goal every year, so that you got photos that can last you a lifetime, right? Traveling is such a beautiful experience because it's something that no one can ever take away from you. These memories that you get, right, are literally priceless. You cannot put a price to the experience that you have, to the moments that you create, to the culture that take in. So we want to make sure that we capture that for you with by way of our photographers and our videographers that join in. So we tell you guys how to dress, how to, stay hydrated, because this is a very long experience. And like I said, there's really just pretty artifacts throughout this experience. I always highly recommend as well bringing extra SETI or extra currency, so that if there's almost everywhere we go is going to be some type of souvenir spot. I can't tell you how many times, I've wish that I did not just have my card exclusively, right? But a lot of places do accept card, but they would prefer local currency. So just like we're having this info session, we even dive deeper for our guests once they book. We have a pre-travel call. We have a couple pre-travel calls before we depart, so that everyone knows exactly what to expect once they arrive, or once they begin traveling to Ghana, once they arrive in Ghana, while they're in Ghana, and then departing from Ghana as well. And then this is the Asanema waterfall, and it just allows you to have this experience to really bask in the nature of the arboretum right after the arboretum garden. So we invite everyone to, make sure that you have swimwear, good hiking shoes, because you do have to walk a bit to get to this waterfall, but it's absolutely breathtaking. And this is, where you'll want to make sure that you have, are those shots, and you capture these moments here. Yes, Mo, we can't wait to have you. We're so excited. I mean, I cannot wait to go back. It's just that good. All right. So then on day 6, we do our a farewell dinner. And then we do host a couple other things because we want to make sure that you guys have additional nights to yourself, right? We don't want to occupy every single day. Maybe you want to experience Ghana on your own. Maybe you want to just relax, right? Sometimes, how often do you take a trip and you need a vacation from the vacation? So we do all of the retreat experiences, right? We do everything, all of the itinerary, right? But we leave 2 days specifically for you so you can do whatever you want to do. We'll align you with tour guides that you can, get transportation with. We always like to do things in groups just because it just applies that much better bit of safety. There have also been people that have gotten their hair braided while they're in Ghana just because it's so much more economical, but it also allows you to support the local economy as well. There have been people that have gone and explored real estate there. So there's a ton that you can do apart from just, kind of our itinerary. And that's where we leave those last 2 days for you guys to explore on your own. We do go and visit Polo Beach Club, one of my absolute favorite beach clubs in Ghana. So we leave this as an optional event to do a New Year's brunch party. They always have a super fun New Year's brunch party, which is just incredible. Celebrity DJs, all the like. There's also an Ampiano, if you guys know that, South African music style. And they do that as a brunch as well on, I believe it's January 2nd. And then there's just different types of cuisines that we'll be exploring on different nights so that you guys can have, like I said, the meals are included. So we're going to be exploring different cuisine and really taking in all that Ghana has to offer. Sky Bar, this is where we're going to another rooftop that we'll be exploring on one of the nights. Optional, totally optional. But for anyone that wants to party the night away and really let loose, if you've worked hard all year, you got into this point, here we are, and here's how we will celebrate. So just another couple of places that we'll be visiting at night just to really get, to really understand more about the culture. So I'm going to go back to really what makes Luxotic unique in terms of being able to travel with. And then we'll dive into some of the payment options that we have. So why book with Luxotic, right? Maybe you've seen us on social media, you've seen some of the trips that we've planned, right? Why book with us? One of the best parts about booking with us is that it is a done for you all inclusive experience, right? How many times have you, seen one of these groups or a different type of travel group? And I love all travel groups, right? There's billions of people in this world. There's more than enough for everyone. One of the things that we wanted to do when we were thinking about making Luxotic is creating all inclusive experiences in these places that are not typically all inclusive, right? So that you are, you don't have to think about anything. They've made these all inclusive places in the Caribbean, not as many in luxurious exotic places. So that's our goal with Luxotic, is to create all inclusive experiences that are done for you. You're successful, you've gotten to a place in life, you don't want to have to think about planning every single piece of what you're going to eat, what you're going to do, where you're going to go, what transportation. We've done it all for you so that it is a 5-star experience. Then we have a very secure booking process. One of the things about, booking travel is that you're sharing a lot of personal information. So when you're sharing personal information on a travel site, one of the things that I highly, highly recommend is that you go and you search and make sure that the website has a little lock on the URL. So what that means is when you go and type in www.luxoticretreats.com, you're going to see a little lock on every single page of our site. And you're going to not only see HTTP, you're going to see HTTPS on every single page that we have, because that S means secure. That S means that your information is locked tight from hackers, from anything in the world, because you're sharing your financial information, you're sharing your passport, your date of birth, your name, right? These are things that hackers are looking for. We have to make sure that we invest in the best of the best products so that we can make sure that we're creating a safe, secure booking process from end to end. Speaking of safety, this is one of the best reasons to travel with a group in general, whether you're traveling with Luxotic or any other traveling group. As a solo traveler, this is something I highly recommend, especially if you're going to a new place, a new country that you've never been before. I recommend traveling with a group. One, we make it, so that you still feel as though you're traveling solo, right? We're never going to make you, do what's on our itinerary. Everything is optional on our itinerary, but it is included in the price. So if you pay, for our price, everything that comes within the itinerary is included. You can say, hey, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to do this instead. Totally, totally fine. We do, preface and make sure that you use good judgment, because anything that is done at your own expense. It's done at your own risk. So we want to make sure that if you are going out on your own, that you understand that, and we do align you with, the right type of information so that you can keep traveling safely. But this is a great way to be able to travel to a new destination, but you're with a group, you're in a safe, environment, and we're all together. The other thing that we're going to dive a little bit deeper on in the next slide is flexible payment plans. So I'm just going to talk about this really quickly. We have lots of different payment options. Now, of course, you can go ahead and pay it all in full, right? And like, hey, I don't want to think about this. I want to pay it and done. Cool. Yep, we can do that. Not a problem. And packages for this start at $2,999. So that means for less than $3,000, a dollar less than $3,000, you are able to have a 8-day, 7-night, all-inclusive experience in Ghana with everything that was just now mentioned. So you can pay that in full, no worries, or you can break this up to make it more economically feasible for you. We accept Affirm Afterpay PayPal credit for those that have great, that are qualified to be accepted into those programs, right? Then let's say you're not, no worries. You can also break down your payments with us through weekly, biweekly, monthly, 4 split pay, and 2 split pay. So there's lots of different ways to make sure that you get to Ghana without paying, $3,000 all at once. You can pay it over time. The deadline to pay all of the fees in full is October 15th. So let's say you put a deposit down today, you don't have to pay anything until October 15th if you didn't want to, right? Let's say you wanted to pay weekly, every week for the next, I believe it's 30 weeks now. That's $100 a week. That's $100 a week, which is doable when you're thinking about, oh, okay, now it makes it more affordable. It makes it, this is something that I can handle if you're in a double occupancy room. Another thing that we do to make this trip more feasible is that our double occupancy rate means that 2 people are in a room. So some people, let's say they're traveling solo, it's like, hey, I don't want to pay an extra $1,000 for a single occupancy room. Is there any way that you could pair me with a guest? Absolutely. Yes, we can. You can get paired with a same gendered guest, and still in that way you can take advantage of our double occupancy rate. And now you're not paying, $1,000 extra just to have a room by yourself, but now you're meeting a new friend. I can't tell you how many times, God just blessed the the pairing that these people are now lifelong friends, just because they spent that time together in this new country, and took advantage of our pairing. So that's just, one of the benefits again of booking with Luxotic is our flexible payment plans. And then we of course offer opportunities to enhance your trip. So upgrades, premium experiences, as you saw, with more excursions or extra room nights. We've had people that are like, hey, I've got 15 days of vacation that I've got to get rid of, for before I start the year or whatever the case may be. Can I add on another week? Yes, we'll work with our hotel partner to get another week added, whatever you need, and make sure that you can add extra room nights to your experience. No worries at all. Now, we are always going to provide a 5-star experience. What does that mean? That means that we want to make sure that through every step of the process that you feel safe, you feel that this has been handled and put together well. If there is a challenge that comes up, it's quickly solved, and that you are just having this life-changing transformational experience in Ghana in paradise. And then another thing is you get to network with other travel lovers. There's a lot of people that travel with Luxotic who Sorry, I think I muted myself. There was a lot of people that travel solo. So there's a great way to meet other travel lovers, connect with other people, because we are a company that values ourselves on learning and growing in paradise. Our goal is going to be to introduce, a new skill set to you if you are joining a new networking opportunity. We typically host networking breakfasts. So this is a great way to network with other travel lovers. And then finally, you don't have to wait for the trip to leave the group chat, right? There were so many people last year. There was a guest, there was a couple. There were a couple of guests that were on our Ghana retreat who just decided, I've been talking to my friends about going to Ghana. We just could never get it out the group chat. That's why I'm here. I decided to just go without them. And here I am. And we just, made friends and had a ball, just literally had the time of our lives. So, you don't have to worry about that here. So, thus ends our Ghana information session. I'm going to now open it up for any questions that you may have. If you are watching this on IG Live, go ahead and drop a question in the chat. If you are watching this on on Zoom, you can go ahead and drop your questions in the chat here as well. But we are so excited to bring this trip to you all for another year in a row. And we're just excited to be able to, visit Ghana for the new year. It's an experience like no other. And we're, just praying for the absolute best with this in every single one of our retreats. Now, for the fun. So we one of the things that we offer, when you watch our info sessions is that we typically do a um we do a special um we do a special information session, um uh, what can I call it? Discounted deposit. So for being here, our gift to you is that you can now take $100 off of the deposit, that you don't have to pay until October 15th. So by using code info, you can take $100 off your deposit. So instead of paying 197 today, you pay $97 and that'll hold your space, and you don't have to pay the balance of that, the 2897, until October 15th. So lots of time. You use code info to leave your space. Space is limited. Okay. I can tell you guys now, we have 25 people already booked for this trip. And that happened within a 2-week time frame. So we're once we get to, I believe, 50 guests, we gotta cut it off because we want to continue to have a as much of an intimate experience as possible, so that we can cater to everyone and give and provide a five-star experience that we can. So I see a question in the chat here. How do you travel from location to location as a private bus? Is it air conditioned? Great question, Angie. Yes, this is a private bus. This is our bus. You are going to see Luxotic Retreat logo magnet on the side of the bus, so you will not be able to miss it anytime. There is air conditioning on the bus. There will be snacks and water on the bus for all of our activities. So we highly um, discourage taking an Uber anywhere. I highly, highly discourage it. We will be working to get, if we can, private cars or private transportation, if you need to drive anywhere. But for our book guests, we're going to make sure that you travel safely at all times with our private bus. Or if you need, then you can hire our private driver to take you somewhere. We highly discourage taking an Uber in a crop. So yeah, great question, Andrew. Thanks for raising that. Any other questions? Let me just go ahead and make sure that that discount code works so that you can get the special introductory information session deposit. Now, if you've already booked, you should have already gotten an email with a PDF of something similar to what we just seen today. You'll also get an email this week to request your payment plan, because all payment plans will be activated on April 1st. So you can choose weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, split for payments, whatever your preference is. You can go ahead and choose that there. Oh, yes, Angie, great. I did realize I did not speak about this. Two things that we will, hmm? Okay, thank you for letting me, let me put that back on. Um, okay, so two requirements that are needed when you travel to Ghana is you are going to need a Ghanaian visa. Ghanaian visas you can get in advance. What does that mean? That means that we provide all of the information that you need um, in order to get to Ghana with the visa, right? Now, when you get a visa in advance to Ghana, that means that you're going to have to fill out a lot of documentation and you're going to have to mail in your passport. So I only recommend this if you are in a place that you're not going to travel anytime soon. If you're not going to travel anytime soon and you need to mail and you have the ability to mail in your passport, by all means, go for it. If you're, the type of personality you just want to get the visa situation done so that you have it in hand and you have a smooth process out of the airport, totally fine. We will provide every single step of the process to make sure that you have everything you need to get your visa in time. The amount of time it takes for you to get your visa is between 8 to 12 weeks. So that could be up to 3 months. So we typically advise starting the visa process no later than September 1st. So you're not going to start the visa process any later than September 1st. So if you book today, I would advise if you're going to do your visa in advance, then you would start applying for the visa this month, next month, any month before September 1st. Now, the alternative is if you do not have, if you are not in a place that you can mail in your passport, totally fine. In the month of December, Ghana does something special where you can get a visa on demand. You can get a visa on arrival, which is incredible. It's great. There's one drawback with this is that it's not the most seamless process. It's not just a straightforward process. It's kind of all over the place. just a little bit. So it's something that, if you're a type A, you kind of need things to be in order. It's something that you may need to prepare yourself for. Um, Otherwise, it's a great alternative so that you don't have to process everything in advance, the same exact amount of fees. And we're going to have a team that's there supporting you, right? Where everybody that has their visa in hand will, continue on to the hotel if they're all ready. No one's going to leave you if you're getting a visa on arrival. I'll be the one to be a part of the people that's not going to leave you, because I will also be getting a visa on arrival. So that's everything with regards to visa. Now, when it comes to vaccination, great question. The visa is typically valid, I believe, for 3 years. I'll have to double check. It also depends on what kind of visa you get. There are different types of visas that you can apply for. You can apply for a tourist visa, you can apply for a business visa, you can apply for a leisure visa. So it depends on what kind of visa you apply for, and everyone can apply for whatever you are looking to to whatever visa you're most interested in. And I believe the least amount is a year. I think the one that um the least amount of time is 1 year, if I'm not mistaken. But once you book, you'll get that passenger site that has literally all of the information on how to get your visa. Now, when it comes to yellow fever vaccines, this is also a hard requirement to enter into the country of Ghana. You'll have to have a yellow fever vaccination. The yellow fever vaccination can be done at a lot of drugstores. I'm not going to say any, most drugstores that have pharmacies or do vaccinations, if they can do influenza, a flu vaccine, if they can do a COVID vaccine, typically they may be able to do a yellow fever vaccine. I would recommend whatever your nearest pharmacy is, your nearest drugstore with a pharmacy, a quick Google search or a quick internet search at that online pharmacy to see if they have the prescription is going to be your best friend. It'll tell you exactly what you need. So, for example, I live in New Jersey. My nearest drugstore slash pharmacy is Walgreens and CVS. Walgreens had it where I literally was able to make my appointment online. Once I got there, my insurance took care of, I believe, like 50% of it. And then I had to pay out of pocket the other half. Now, the vaccine is, I believe, straight out of pocket without insurance. It's like $300. It's like 285 or something like that. So you may want to check with your insurance to see how much is covered, how much out of pocket it would be for you to have that vaccination covered. Now, when you get the vaccination, you have it for life. You don't, you don't have to take it again. The one thing that you will need to do is take a picture of your card or make sure that you have it on you at all times, because you don't want to have to take the vaccination again. You don't want to have to do that. But if you needed to, then that would be the option there. Another thing that we recommend, and the CDC also recommends, is taking a malaria pill. Now, this malaria pill they recommend taking 7 days before you arrive to Ghana, and taking, it depends. There's like two different kinds. There's one you take daily. It's one that you take weekly, 4 weeks after you leave, or 4 weeks while you're in Ghana, and then 3 weeks after. A week while you're in Ghana, and then 3 weeks after. But it prevents you from contacting or contracting malaria as well. So these are things that we recommend. Yellow fever is a hard requirement to get um, into Ghana, and you will have to have that card there. Yep, perfect. Thank you so much, Monique. So Angie has a question. Do we all fly together on the same plane? No, no. So as mentioned before, in our pricing, Airfare is not included. Airfare is not included, but we do support airfare. So if you needed airfare assistance, we can get you airfare assistance. Everyone does not fly on the same plane. It all depends on where you're traveling from. On almost every retreat that we've hosted, everyone's traveling from different places. They're traveling from Seattle, they're traveling from Houston, from California, from Florida, from New Jersey, New York, Chicago, right? Literally everywhere. So it really depends on where you're traveling from. And on that passenger site, there will be a request for airfare support. So you can always fill out this form. Let us know what departure city is closest to you. If you're comfortable with layovers for a more economic price, and we'll make it happen for you. We'll provide a quote for you, and then we'll get you booked for that. When you are booking a flight with our group, you would have to pay that in full or with Afterpay, Affirm, or PayPal credit. That's not something that we would be able to do a weekly, biweekly, or monthly payment plan because we have to book the flight on at that very moment. So um, so yeah, so it really depends on your departure city. And we make sure that you have all of your information once you're um, probably about a month prior to booking, depending on when you request your flight information. If you request flight information from us and and we provide a quote, you pay for that quote, you get your flight information within 48 hours of paying. You're going to know exactly what time you depart, if you have a layover, what time you land. And we do coordinate all of your transportation to and from the airport. So once you land, there's going to be a Luxotic transportation that'll pick you up from the airport. There will also be fast track um, um, assistance when you come out of the airport so that it's a seamless process to go through customs, go through visa, go through immigration rather, and then collect your baggage and then head to the airport. So great question so far. Any other questions? Now, remember, if you do think of any other questions after this live, you can always shoot us an email, info@luxoticretreats.com, or you can shoot us a message right on our website. In our chat, there's always someone that is monitoring that chat literally all around the world. We are blessed to have an intimate but super hardworking global team that is in every corner of the world. So no matter what time it is, there's always someone that is able to assist you at Luxotic. So we're excited to ring in 2025 with you all. Don't forget to use that info code so that you can book with that $97 deposit for a limited time. So that $97 deposit is only going to be for the month of March. So you only have it available for the month of March or until rooms last, right? So as I mentioned, 25 people booked in 2 weeks. And we're going up to 40 or 50. Who knows what we'll have by April 1st. But we'll keep our page updated to let everyone know, how many rooms are left, how many spaces are left, so that you can do your due diligence to booking. But until then, have a wonderful, blessed night. And thank you so much for tuning in. And awesome. Thank you so much, Mo, for the feedback. I'm so appreciative of you all for being here and just taking the time to receive this information from us. We'll have this available on YouTube. Thanks, Angie, for that feedback as well. We're going to have this available on YouTube within the next 24 hours. So it'll be on the link in our bio. That way you can share it with friends and family who you want to get to go to Ghana. Don't wait on this, guys. It is going to fill up fast. And one of the most beautiful things is to see all of these, African American, African diaspora people from all over the world on our layovers landing in Ghana. It's just like this beautiful coming home experience. So I can't wait to see you all there. Have a wonderful, blessed night, and I'll see you on the next info session. Take care and God bless.